Fabrication in general can involve as many or as few tools as you desire. However, there are some key tools that will greatly expand the range of tasks you can complete and provide a much more professional looking finished product. The right tool for a given task will also allow you to complete that task faster and with better repeatability. Having long been a motorsport fan, I started to gain an interest for the construction methods that you see integrated into race cars and motorcycles of all types. It's not hard to see that holes in motorsport are a prevalent feature and are usually integrated into sheet metal structures that need to be lightened. But removing weight will also be accompanied by a reduction in strength and rigidity. This is not ideal, as these are two very important factors that we need to improve or at the very least retain. Removing weight while adding strength is the job for a dimple die, and in this module I will show you how we produce the hole and shape the dimple die flange. A dimple die consists of the upper punch half and the lower die section half, which are machined out of long-lasting and hard-wearing 4130 chromoly and come in singular sizes or full kits. The dimple die is measured on the inner diameter hole size, and the flare can vary between different styles of dimple die. The flare section on a dimple die is available in two styles. I have the more traditional straight flared style instead of the radius style that is also prevalent in this industry. This flare on the dimple die is the reason that the strength and rigidity is retained, while the weight saving is a product of the missing material needed to insert the dimple die punch half. Before handling sheet metal, it's a good idea to wear gloves to prevent cuts from the sharp edges. This is especially the case when we are handling larger sheets to both prevent cuts and improve our grip on the sheet metal. To dimple die any type of sheet metal up to 3 mm thick, first we need to drill or punch a hole in the centre. This can be done in two ways. The first is a hole saw, which can be a little difficult to achieve perfect results with due to the lack of precision that a hole saw in sheet metal can tend to have. For the purpose of this module, we will go through the process of using a hole punch that is hydraulically operated to create our dimple die clearance hole. In this instance, I'm using a 2-inch hole punch that matches my 2-inch dimple die. The dimple die and punch kit came from the same manufacturer and are both made to suit the supplied hand-operated hydraulic ram. This isn't a process that is completely drill-free though, as we need to drill a 20 mm centre hole for our centre pull stud. We can start by marking the location of our hole and then centre punching it to ensure an accurate location for our drill. The next step is to drill our 20 mm hole. For the purpose of this module, and because the sheet metal is so thin, I don't want my large drill to grab, so I'm going to be using a step drill. After drilling the hole out to 20 mm with the step drill, it's time to punch the hole. The punch has a serrated cutting edge and, like the dimple die, uses an upper and lower die to cut the hole. With the sheet metal placed in between these two halves and the centre bolt tightened down, it's just a matter of pumping the hydraulic cylinder to allow the ram to pull the dies together and punch the hole. With our hole successfully punched out of the sheet metal, we can remove the centre pull stud and fit the dimple die halves between the sheet metal. We repeat this process with the dimple die until we feel the resistance of the die bottoming out. It's important to note that if we are using the dimple die on aluminium, then we must be careful not to bottom out the dies too hard, as this will press an outer ring in the alloy material that can be a little difficult to remove and may affect the finish that we are looking for. If we are looking to dimple die a series of holes, then it's important that we work out our centre spacing first to allow the clearance between the flares fouling on the dimple die that will be pressed next to it. Combining a dimple die with a hydraulic punch kit is a nice touch, as it allows the centre of the hole to be clean, precise and repeatable. If you didn't want the extra expense of the hole punch kit, then the dimple die can still be done with great results through the use of a hole saw. However, a little more care and patience is needed during the drilling process. Once completed, and like many other sheet metal operations, we need to remove any sharp edges by deburring with a small file or deburring tool and then fitting up to the area needed. It's hard not to love the finished product of a dimple dyed panel, as it screams motorsport fabrication. This method is not difficult and is again a shining example in using the right tool for the right job. That was just one module from our Motorsport Fabrication Fundamentals course. If you want to learn more about fabrication or have an interest in performing your own modifications to your car or motorcycle, then this course will be perfect for you. It will give you a greater understanding of the materials, tools, and processes required to turn ideas into a reality. You'll also learn the step-by-step process needed to produce your own welding bench. We supply you with the drawings and technical know-how required, removing the guesswork from the process. This course is perfect for anyone looking to get started in fabrication and will fast-track you and your projects, saving time and money. Click the link in the description to get started.